Yo, it's your boy Six and welcome back to another no setup card trick tutorial. This trick comes from the mind of Ian ADAIR. It's a very simple self-working packet trick and I think you're gonna like it. Very basic, nothing crazy, but what I like about it is that it's impactful and has a nice surprise finish, which I think you're gonna enjoy. So let's go ahead and take a look at the performance and get into today's effect titled Surprise Spell. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the performance of this effect. What I like about it is it only uses a few cards. You don't need too many. It only uses 6 cards. So I'll use these 6 here, and we don't need the rest of them. I don't have a spectator, but if I did, I'd have them name a number from 1 to 6. For this case here, I'm just going to roll a die, and let's see, we end up on 5. So I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that'll be the spectator's card. Now what's going to happen is that I can mix the cards up just like this. Just so you can see that they really do get actually mixed, they're altered a little bit. And we're gonna take a look at the spectator's card here and see what they have. So they have a 7. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna spell 7, S-E-V-E-N, place that one down. Same thing here, S-E-V-E-N, a little process of elimination, if you will, S-E-V-E-N, and one more time, S-E-V-E-N-N. And would you believe it, we end up with one card, and it could be any card. We wouldn't know what it is, but it happens to be the perfect match, the mate to your 7 of spades, the 7 of clubs. And I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably saying to yourself, oh, they must all be the same. And you would be right. They are all the same, except these are the 1, 2, 3, 4 aces. And there you have it. A wonderful little effect. And let's go ahead and take a look at the explanation. Alright, so this really is a 6-card effect. You only need these 6 cards here. Go ahead, take out the 4 aces, and take out any 2 of a kind. Now I want to cover a couple basics here. In this effect, it uses the 7s. You don't have to use the 7s. If you notice, S-E-V-E-N spells 5 letters. So with that in mind, you can use any cards that can spell out that way. And I say that because if you speak a different language or perform in a different language, maybe 7 doesn't have 5 letters in it, so you can't use the 7. Another way around this is, besides that, is you can use the word like magic, M-A-G-I-C. So instead of spelling 7, you say, we'll spell magic. Maybe something like joker, J-O-K-E-R, depending on your language. And if all else fails and your language doesn't work, you can swap these out for 5s and just count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, instead of spelling S-E-V-E-N. So this will allow you to do it pretty much in any language. And I know some of you don't speak English, or don't perform in English, I should say. You speak English, but you don't perform in English. So this is a way that you can perform it in any language, which is nice. So I'm just gonna use the 7s for this. You can use the 5s, whatever works for you. Lucky 7 just seems to make sense. So I'm gonna use this. Here's the setup. You're gonna take any ace and place it down first, followed by the 2 7s, and then the other 3 aces. So that is your setup. Ace, any one, the 2 7s, the 2 matching cards, and then any 3 cards. So just like that. And you're gonna place these on top of the pack. As you've probably seen in my other videos, I just like to do an overhand shuffle when I have a small setup on top, not really calling attention to it. Drop the last pack that I have back on top, and that keeps my little top card stock. Really, you can do whatever you want. If you want to do shuffles, you can shuffle the cards and hold back a block of cards. So this way, that same 6-card setup stays on top of the pack, just like we have there. So that's all you have to do. If you want to do shuffles, you can even go as far as to have the spectator do cuts, right? So you can do the false cuts that we've talked about before. I'll link to them. Anything works to show the cards that mix. I didn't want to go that far, but you could. So now I'm going to take the top 6 cards. Now, like I said, that is the setup here. And they're going to really name any number from 1 to 6. I just used a die because I don't have a spectator. Maybe you want to introduce a die if you're looking to add a little bit to your magic and have other props involved. You can use a die and just have the spectator roll it, or you just have them name a number from 1 to 6. But there's a few different outs that are going to take place here. So imagine, if you will, the old trick called the hot rod. And if you're not familiar with the hot rod, it has 6 gems on it, and they name a number, and you're essentially forcing a gem. In this case, we're trying to force one of these 2 cards. So I'm going to place these face up here just for the explanation. So we're trying to force one of these 2 cards. And it's pretty simple. If they say the number 2, I count 1, 2, the second card. If they say the number 3, I count 1, 2, 3. If they say the number 4, I'm going to count from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I still land on one of the black 7s. If they say 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only time this is going to change is with 1 and with 6, right? So if they say 1 or 6, obviously I can't do this and I can't do this. But if you notice, both 1 and 6 have 3 letters. So if they say 1, I say, great, we'll spell 1. O-N-E. If they say 6, I say, perfect, we'll spell 6. S-I-X. And I'll still be able to land on that card. So once again, depending on what number they name, if they say 2, 1, 2, they say 3, 1, 2, 3, they say 4, you count from the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, they say 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the only difference being 1 and 6, and in those cases, they're the same. You just spell 1, O-N-E, or spell 6, S-I-X. It's not exactly like they use in the hot rod, but very similar because in this case, you have 2 options to force them. So it's a great way to get into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this face up for you all to see. Remember, these 4 face down cards are already the aces. Here's what's gonna happen. Their spectator names their number, so let's say they said 3, go 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna place that card down on the table. Now I'm gonna have the other card, the mate to that card, simply second from the top of my packet. And here's a little false shuffle that you can do. I don't know if it's not really a false shuffle, it's just a mix that resets the cards. Where I'm gonna take one and put one on top. All right, so I just mix. Same thing again, take one on the bottom, put one on top. Take one on top, on the bottom, on top, on the bottom. And it just resets the cards. So let's go through that slow motion. You push off the top card, you put the next one on top of it, you put the next one underneath it, put the next one on top of it, put the whole packet on top. Same idea, push over one goes on top, one goes on bottom, one goes on top, the last one goes on the bottom. That's the simplest way of putting it. One last time, because I know it's a little confusing. The first time I did it, I made a couple mistakes. You push off one, place one card on top, one on the bottom, one on top, one on the bottom, and that automatically does it. You do it 2 times, one on top, one on the bottom, one on top, one on the bottom. You can really do it as many times as you like. It really doesn't make a difference because it'll always keep the second card right in that position. So you can say, you know, how many times should I shuffle? 3, 4, and then you can do that. And it just looks really great. It's a nice little convincing little shuffle there. But what it does is it keeps the second card exactly where you need it to be. So maybe you tell your spectators, you name the number 4, name another one. 3, 4, 2, 1. They say 3. Say, look, I'll do 3 shuffles just for you, just to make sure that the cards are completely random. And now you have it just like that. So to finish this effect, you're just going to spell out the cards exactly as I did in the performance. Nothing special about that. So as I said, if you're using 5, you'll just count 5. Notice the number here is 5. So as long as I spell 7, there's 5 letters. So all I do is S, E, V, E, N. The last one that I land on with the letter, I place to the side. Do it again. S, E, V, E, N. Place it to the side. S, E, V, E, N. Place it to the side. S, E, V, E, N. Place it to the side. And now I can reveal this card to be a perfect match to the mate. And then finally, I can go ahead and show that I have the 1, 2, 3, 4 aces, which makes this seem more impossible. So just a little psychological subtlety there. When they see all 4 aces, they go, oh, it could have been any one of these cards, and it makes this seem even more impossible. As well as if you did do shuffling in the beginning, you did mix the cards and cut the cards, having the 4 aces is also a big surprise. So a lot of cool little factors taking place there. I think it's a wonderful effect, and I hope you all enjoy it. I'll see you in the next episode.